This is the most difficult client I've ever had. When you go to school, everyone knows you're learning. It's obvious, right? And I must say that I wasn't bad at cutting hair. I already had that part mastered quite well. Anyway, this lady had an appointment at 11 in the morning, and as usual, she arrived very late. And besides being in a bad mood, she didn't even greet us. From there, I knew everything would go wrong. Good morning. What kind of haircut would you like?
Well, I don't know what kind of haircut you have to give me to get to pass your exams.
Don't worry, it's the haircut you want.
I cut my own hair at home, you know. Nobody cuts it better than me, just so you know.
Suddenly, she removes the hair tie and her hair was all messed up. Haha. It was obvious she cut it herself.
I'm telling you, I cut it myself at home, but I think I messed it up a little this time, so I want you to cut it without affecting the length.
I started thinking about what kind of cut to give her, and I thought, yes, an asymmetrical bob. She agreed, and I proceeded to wash her hair and then back to the chair. As soon as I wanted to touch her precious and well-cared-for hair to start working, she freaks out.
That comb you have is for men's cuts.
No, ma'am. It's a general cutting comb.
It's dirty, wash it.
I swear the comb wasn't dirty, but since I was just a student and didn't want any trouble, I went to rinse it. When I returned to my place, my teacher came to check my work.
Hello, what haircut are we doing for the lady today?
I'm going to give her an asymmetrical cut.
Perfect, it will look amazing on her.
But she knows what she's doing. Don't ruin my beautiful hair. It has taken me so much effort to have it like this.
Trust me, I'm here to help with anything.
Do you always work with that comb?
Yes, ma'am. Here in school, we're taught that it's our main tool.
Well, I always section my hair with a tail comb, and it turns out better.
Ah, okay. We, stylists, don't use that comb for cutting, only for dyeing.
Well, I prefer the tail comb.
I ignored her and started working, but out of nowhere, she grabs my hand and raises her voice.
What are you doing? That's not how the teacher told you to cut.
Then she takes the comb from me and says,
Like this. Look, she told you to cut it like this.
I was very surprised and angry, but I had no choice but to go along with her. Yes, ma'am, okay.
Do you know or not? She didn't tell you like that.
She almost called me stupid and started yelling. I wanted to hide from embarrassment. The only thing I could come up with was to go get my teacher to help me calm the beast. Teacher, excuse me for interrupting, but my client says I'm doing everything wrong.
What?
She says I didn't grab her hair the way you told me to. My teacher got confused and went to check on the client.
Everything all right?
This girl doesn't know how to cut hair. She's doing everything wrong.
Let me see how you're doing it.
I started cutting, and the lady was still very angry.
Ma'am, the student is doing it perfectly. They know what they're doing. We're only here as a guide. Please don't make my student nervous.
I'm not making her nervous. She's been like this since I arrived.
Ma'am, how can you not want the girl to be nervous? Since you arrived, all you've done is complain. I'm going to ask you not to tell my student how to work. That's my job. Keep working. Everything's fine.
I tried to keep working calmly, but every time I made a cut, this lady would touch her hair to see how it was turning out. So annoying. In my mind, I dreamed of shaving her head with a razor so she would really complain. But above all, I am a professional. Damn, I am. When I finished the first part, I called the teacher to check the cut, and the lady kept touching her hair and making faces.
Perfect, it looks very good. Now you're going to use the razor to remove volume.
The client didn't say anything while the teacher was explaining to me, but when she left, she started screaming again.
No! I don't want you to use the razor on me. Are you crazy? Or what's wrong with you?
It's to remove volume. Otherwise, your cut won't look good. Besides, it was my teacher's instruction.
I don't care. Go get your teacher now.
Mary, the client says she doesn't want me to use the razor. The teacher went from being happy to having a here we go again face. She approached the client.
Ma'am, if we don't use the razor, your hair will end up looking like coconut head, you know. Please cooperate with the student.
Apparently she didn't like that, but she didn't say anything more, and I continued doing my work.
What are you doing? You're cutting off too much length.
Your hair is uneven and I have to even it out.
You're cutting off too much. Go get your teacher.
At this point, I wanted to cry and throw everything away. I even considered quitting because she had made me doubt my talent as a stylist. I spoke to the teacher again, and the hell broke out.
Ma'am, you're not paying anything. You can't come here to tell me how to do my job or to tell my students how to do theirs. And if you don't like it, I invite you to take your things and leave.
Well, I will leave because the customer service here is terrible.
The lady started packing up to leave, and internally, I was dancing with excitement. But then the teacher, worried about her school reputation, regretted speaking harshly to the lady and said,
We got off on the wrong foot. You know what? I invite you to stay to see the quality of our work and not leave with a bad experience.
The lady's hair was halfway done, so my teacher made me finish that cut against my will. Damn you, Mary. I hated you.
Well, I'll give you the chance to finish. Whatever.
I swallowed my pride and put on my best face to finally end this torment and get rid of the witch. I didn't speak to her during those minutes. I was just focused on finishing and giving her a perfect cut so she couldn't say anything else to me. But the bitch just kept on going and going.
Are you really done?
And going.
Why do I look like this?
Like what?
Well, all ugly. What did you do to me?
I wanted to tell her, well, that's how you look like, but I stayed silent. Your hair is very processed. That's why it looks fluffy. I had to straighten it to make it look a little better. Then, the teacher gave her some final touches and recommendations. In the end, just as the lady was leaving, out of nowhere, she tapped me on the back and said,
Thank you very much, girl. I loved my haircut. Forgive my attitude. You know, it's my age.
Ha ha ha. Hope I never see you again, you crazy lady.